When you fuel up your car, you assume you're getting what you're paying for, but are you? One Columbia man has his suspicions, and in tonight's special report, he now has video of what he calls proof that he's being ripped off.
I stopped at the gas station at the Eagle Stop on Providence to get gas, and this has happened on numerous occasions. Then I shut the pump off, and I looked over, and the pump kept running, but the nozzle was out of my car. So I grabbed my phone and started videoing it.
Kevin Boyer then brought that video to share with us at ABC 17 News. The video shows the fuel measurement and amount increasing for about 40 seconds after he stopped pumping fuel. It racked up another 16 cents. It has Kevin concerned.
How much money have I lost? How much money has other people lost?
Kevin says he repeatedly reported the issue and is not pleased with the explanation.
And they said, well, there's nothing we can do about it. It's because it's cold. I was like, if that was the case, every pump in town would be doing that.
This time he says he was called back by the owners of the station and pump number 1 was bagged and taken offline. When I saw pump number 1 back in service, I went to the same convenience store to test the pumps myself. I started with pump 1, then pump 3, and I tried pump 5. I couldn't get the problem to replicate. To be fair, the weather conditions were not the same. Kevin fueled up around 11 o'clock at night and took a screenshot of the temperature at the time of 33 degrees. I unofficially tested the pumps at around 4:30 p.m. with the temperature in Columbia of right around 60 degrees. So I took the case to the people who do the official testing and scientific measurements. John Albert is the program administrator with the Missouri Department of Agriculture Weights and Measures. He agreed to meet us at the Eagle Stop in Jefferson City for an inspection walkthrough. Before that walkthrough, I showed him Kevin's video.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
I have.
What caused it?
Before that answer, Albert tells us all commercial pumps in the state are rigorously inspected.
When we complete that inspection, we want to make sure that the totalizers, the electronic totalizer readings, are all in agreement. So we'll go in and we'll look at those. It has to match what the point of sale inside agrees with what we did, what we dispensed here as far as gallons
And these
and
things
the amount.
have a device that's like an odometer, right?
They do. It's a continuously operational device from day one. The other thing is we can do an audit trail on this device over and above the electronic wire seals. We can go in and we can actually pull that up, and it can tell us when this device was calibrated last, when it was put in calibration mode or weights and measures mode. So it's really almost impossible, very difficult if not impossible, to manipulate any of the metrology in this without us knowing about it.
As for that shady-looking video, Albert says there is a scientific explanation.
When you see something creeping up like that after you've already stopped your dispensing, one of the things that can happen is consumers tend to think that they can shut the pump off and then drain the hose, what's the hanging hardware, and it leaves a void in there. And what's happening is this is called a wet hose system, and it's intended to maintain complete liquid charge to this nozzle. So when an anti-drain valve fails a little bit, and this is typical when it happens in cold temperatures, they're Viton, they're rubber, they tend to get brittle just like anything else does. So when that happens, you get a small amount that goes out the nozzle, and it's trying to recharge that hose to that nozzle point, so we maintain a wet hose system. That product appears to have been discharged by that method, and so that customer is actually getting what he paid for.
It all sounds logical, but does it satisfy Kevin?
It don't add up. I've never, ever seen this, and I've had a lot of people contact me since I posted that video, said that the same thing happened to them.
I called the Eagle Stop's corporate owners in Eldon. Tony Geyer says he stands by the state's inspection process, and he tells me his company has worked hard to build an honest reputation and would never rip off its customers. Remember, before you fill up, take a glance at the pump. Look for this inspection sticker. You'll be able to see it on each one. This is on one of those pumps at the Eagle Stop on Providence. It tells you when it was last inspected by the Department of Agriculture. In this case, this was November of 2017. And they tell me now that the failure rate of compliance in the state is fewer than 2% of the fuel pumps.